Thank you guys for coming out today.
Yes, sir.
Good to have you guys.
Pleasure.
We got X94, RicFoci, 94 Connects, and Foci Creations. So let's just talk about 2025, reflecting on the year. We can start with you, X. One word for 2025, and let's see if you develop on it, bro.
A lot of you guys probably don't want to hear it, but I feel like we have been pretty consistent. We get tough on ourselves sometimes. We go pretty hard in our heads, but I feel like overall consistency was this year. I mean, multiple trips, multiple Airbnbs, multiple collectives, multiple shoots, studio sessions. I feel like 2025 was definitely a paving year, and now we got a 2026 set the buildings up.
Rick, passing the mic to you, bro. 2025, one word.
I think we developed as a team. I think a lot of the trips we had one person, shout out to C. Ryan, come out and shoot film for us.
Mm-hmm.
And we actually took a massive trip to California, and we were trying to stay within a budget. And me and Joe had a conversation. He's like, what should we do? And I was like, bro, why don't we just try it ourselves? And I think with a lot of our experiences and a lot of the knowledge that we have, we came together as a collective and, came out with more than enough
That's not true.
awesome shots. And I think that really showed us that we developed as a team, and we developed our craft to where we know that we can film and do things for ourselves.
Well said. Well said. So consistency and development. I like those.
It speaks for itself. I mean, we're talking years of greatness that we just didn't have, like that napkin where we had all our thoughts on. And I feel like, it comes back to the napkin. I feel like this year we're able to script that napkin with all the blueprints.
I think that's the whole point of the process. Is, we just got to trust it, and we'll see that light somewhere, somehow, and we're just going to go full force and double down on it. So
Let's speak on that. Let's speak on this light that you talk about. And even for creatives that are coming into 2026, it could be people starting out. It could be people like us who have been a decade deep. How do you recognize the light, and what do you do once you have it?
that's a good question, brother. Because honestly, just to be transparent with you guys, I don't know what the light looks like. I'm still looking for clarity myself.
At least you're being honest.
Yeah.
I picture the light as a jumbotron. Yeah, you're not gonna be able to miss it, bro. Like,
Yeah.
you can have like that little night light beside the bed. That's your guiding light, But I'm looking for that jumbotron light. I want to see the big picture on a screen. Like, I really want to. When I see it, I'm going to see it, and the whole world should be able to see it behind me as a collective. So that's how I'm looking at it. My light's going to be a jumbotron.
Yeah, and kind of answer the question about for the new creators. I mean, we failed so many times. And I don't even think failure is the right word, because all failures are lessons at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So we're going to keep failing. I'm just going to use that term for right now. We're just going to keep failing until we find the light that we're looking for, right? We want to see the Jumbotron, but also look at the Jumbotron and see our faces on it.
All right, so now I want you guys to just get into your story, who you are, where you come from, what makes you who you are today, and why you're so valuable to your team.
I'm very detail-oriented. I'm very helpful in different ways when it comes to, having conversations and stuff like that. So, I'm selfless as a person. I want everybody to succeed.
Your eyes on your camera.
But where I came from is, a single mother household, not knowing my father as a youngin'. That's pretty much it. My mom's a hard worker, and she really tried to take care of her kids, and that's kind of what I want to do for my mother.
Yeah.
Right? And at the end of the day, I just want to get her a crib of her dreams. She had her kids at a young age, and I'm sure that her dreams went down the window when that happened. But, she strapped up her high heels and kept walking.
I love that, bro.
I tell her that all the time. I'm proud of her, so I need her to be proud of me.
As a side note to you, because I come from that same background where I never really embraced like the full potential of a family. So what I want to tell a lot of you guys is like, you know, who have kids or are in the family, just be careful what you say to somebody, like before they go to bed or something. Like watch your tone of voice, because how can you expect somebody to sleep well with that energy? You know, you want that same energy reflected back on you. So, you know, like treat others with love, you know, like give them insights of good voice, good kosherness, you know. Try not to be so tough on somebody and then expect them to be okay. Like that's where I'm at, because I come from a background of not having family in the household, not growing up with my mother, not having my father around, and I ended up having to cultivate myself into being myself by teaching myself. So, but it always comes back to like, I wish I would have had, you know, those good intentions, like before I go to bed, when I wake up, to have a good day, to sleep better at night, you know. So I battle with that. But I give that to my daughter, you know. I give her the sweetest voice when she wakes up in the morning, because those things are honed inside of her and are going to create her into the person that she is. So that's just a side bubble, guys. Like, just treat, you know, it sounds corny, but treat the ones, you know, that you love with love, you know, because you can't expect them to love if you're not feeding that energy into them. I'm RicFoci X94. I've been doing this for over a decade, and, you know, I've learned stuff. And one thing I've learned is to never really be so tough on yourself, you know, because it all comes back to you at the end of the day. You're the only person that can make a difference in your life and make those changes. You can't wait for somebody else to make those changes for you. So it all comes back to you. You know, try not to be so tough on yourself. You know, days get tough, but maybe find something to do. Watch a good movie. Like, watch a movie with your homies, because movies are like songs in video format, you know. There's quotes in a movie that can resonate with you. Listen to other music. Get other people's insights, you know. You can't be so tough on yourself and think you know it all. Be open to learning, you know. Be open to hearing other people's testimonies. That's what I've learned. I used to be so quick to want to be in my own bubble and like think I knew it all, and didn't want to hear any insight from anybody else, until I started to step back. And I've learned a lot of good things from my friends, like how Rick may just be better at self-care, self-love, like loving yourself, going to the gym, finding that bubble, going on a 100-day run. It could be with money. Go on a 90-day run, save $1 every day, see where it gets you. You know, you accomplish those things. You can only blame yourself. But, you know, me as a person, I have a lot to learn, and I want to learn. You know, I'm never going to quit learning, and that's where I'm at, really. I'm always willing to learn. I'm going to keep learning until I master myself.
Another thing I want to bring up is our Creator. You know, our relationship, your relationship that you have with our Creator. Next, well, we'll start with you, Rick. A lot of people talk about how we should speak with God, how we should be in relationship with God, how we should walk that life, be obedient. I want to hear from you. How do you receive the communication back through our Creator? How are some of the ways that you can identify that He's speaking to you and how He moves you?
I think the relationship that me and God have, first things first, I want to let you know that you don't have to be perfect to seek God. Actually, a lot of His apostles, a lot of the people that He chose to be in the book, the Bible, weren't perfect people. You know, they were murderers. There were so many people that were more or less nowadays in this world, in this life that we live in now, people would banish. You know, it's like, ugh, like you're not a believer of God, but that's not true, brother. He wants you to be with Him at your ugliest days. But I think that God leads me and shows me His communications through my environment, who I'm with, and who I surround myself with. So, I mean, without Dro specifically, I was battling with my relationship with God, because I didn't know
The two-way.
I didn't know the two-way, because I was raised Catholic my whole life, but I never felt a connection to it. But me, Dro, a few other people, or we're in, like, you know, group messages and Zoom calls and stuff like that, and I realized that I was in a Zoom call full of Christians, and, you know, they just they never forced things down my throat. They just told me, planted seeds, like this is what, you know, where I think you should be at. And I cherish that moment every day. Like I always thank him about it. I always thank Kempton too. Shout out Kempton. I think my environment is how he speaks to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Through your relationships.
Yeah.
And openness with those people.
Exactly.
X, I want to challenge it a little further with you.
Let's go.
You know, I want to hear how God speaks to you, how you identify it, and more importantly, the responsibility that there is in having to provide that light to the darkest places. You know, coming from where you come from, your background, it's very easy to not entertain God, not easy to entertain that conversation or take on that relationship. A lot of distractions. So if you could speak on that for me.
So it's gonna be a little more complex for me because I'm just here for you guys.
You're just the messenger.
Yeah, I'm just a messenger, bro. That's really it. Like, cause he resonates through me and puts me in places for you guys.
Yeah.
Like he'll lead me in a direction that I need to be for that reason. It's more of a numbers thing for me. Like I could be going down the road and I see the number 94. And I'm heading somewhere where I'm supposed to be. Like I'm aligned with my position and my role that he wants me to play. So sometimes I don't even know what I'm supposed to be doing. He just wants me there.
Yeah.
Just like right here, I'm supposed to be here.
You just know it within your intuitive nature.
Mm-hmm.
A little touch for the people that do believe in God and have faith. I'm not the most religious person in the world, and a lot of my family, besides Sarah, shout out to my aunt, but you know, they see me as like one of the closest ones to God's, and I beg to differ in a way, right? And I tell them that I always battle with my faith too, and that's just an ongoing thing with me and myself. So if you're battling with faith, just know it's okay. Don't worry about it, because God always has your back, and He would never cross you. He will always be with you. So don't let the enemy win, and just have faith.
Be careful who you interact with on a daily basis. Like I was just saying, always spread love, because you never know when you're beside undercover angel. It could be that guy at the middle of the road and he's holding a sign up and is saying, you know, help me. And 9 out of 10 times they're going to say, who is this guy? He's just begging for money. But that could be your blessing in disguise. You know, that one guy could be a guiding angel that really God's testing you to see if you're really going to help. Are you really going to be obedient to His word and love all? Sometimes we fall victim to loving all, and that one person that I'm speaking of could be that guiding angel, and you're way into the door light of heaven, or however you see your afterlife. So make sure you love all, guys, no matter what.
Damn, the sign actually made me think of a story, actually, X. During summer camp, I used to work with kids who had disabilities, and after, it was like the middle of August, so it's peak heat, you know, no one should really be outside without sunscreen, this, that, and the third, and after every session, at the end of the day, I would grab a few snacks from the building, because they just provided snacks, whether it was a yogurt, granola bar, whatever the case may be. I would, grab 2 or 3. And every day I would go down to this guy at the light that was holding a sign. And I'm like, yo, bro, boom, boom. Every day. He's like, one day he just asked me, he's like, I appreciate you so much. What's your name? I was like, my name's Eric. And he was like, my name's Eric.
Whoa.
I was like, what?
Meant to be.
He's like, I appreciate what you're doing, and I because truthfully I'm going through hard times. He said, just look into your name. Your name means something.